guys, and welcome to Not Dead Yet,
but Still Killing,
with your host Ryan Hill
and your other host Sarah K. Godot.
Sarah,
Ryan,
it's podcast day.
It's podcast day,
and we're so excited, and nothing weird is happening in our lives whatsoever.
Nope. We live nothing but glamour and stabilization.
I mean, literally the whole time. I got up from my champagne bath, which I have every day. Very sticky, by the way. Shouldn't do it. And headed over here. So what's killing you this week, dear?
My cats. My cats are killing me. And the robot, the litter robot.
Have you thought about murdering them?
I have.
Okay.
That's the problem. So I actually had to take one of them to the vet, which is always expensive. But basically what had happened was we had them in one litter box forever that kind of looks like a planter for 7 years. No bad litter problems at all.
Yeah.
We tried to convert them to a litter robot.
Okay.
Which is a delightful device that like puts all of the poop in a little chamber and you just like take
It's like a diaper genie.
Kinda, yeah. But like the thinking behind this, A, less gross smells, and B, like we would really like to go away for like 3-day weekends, and it's much easier to ask somebody to come over and just like throw away a bag than to like hard scoop a litter box 3 times a day. You know?
Yeah, 100%. I will tell you, when you said litter robot, I just imagined like a Roomba chasing your cats around with like a tiny hose, like grabbing their ass, like, give me that shit. Give it! I'm like, that's aggressive.
I wish.
I'm just saying AI is working on it.
Yeah, so we have 2 cats. One is very vocal, so she yells when she's mad. The other one's very silent, but the silent one decided to start protesting by shitting and pissing on our bed.
Which is an effective protest.
It is.
I've never heard of one.
It's quick, but because it's like the first time in 7 years, I'm like, is this she's mad about the robot, or is there like physically something wrong? Because sometimes that can be an indicator. So of course I had to pay $500 yesterday for a vet to tell me your cat's an asshole. Cat's an asshole. And so like we already ordered the old litter box to come back, so they'll have both. But we'd also like switched the litter, which I guess both cats hate now. And so then the other cat, I'm coming home today, and Dave's like running around like a chicken with his head cut off. He's like, I'm going to get new litter. And I'm like, what happened? And he's like, Abby looked at me in the face and peed in the hamper.
I like the dead eye, like. You're
like you know this is
happening. Is what's happening right now. I'm like, okay.
So yeah, I have to seal off most of my house, and I have like a rubber sheet on my bed just in case the door gets left open, and hopefully this takes. But it also means I never get a vacation until these motherfuckers die.
Well.
And I don't want to feel that way about my animals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good practice for when Dave ages. You know what I mean?
No, diapers are definitely in the pack if we get to kill each other.
Okay. Oh, you have a.
We talked about the mutually assured destruction last week.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like if our brain's going, if our faculties are going,
I'm 100% out too.
Out.
Yeah, I had that pact with my mom. If I'm quadriplegic, I'm like, you need to find a way to take me out.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'll try to do it.
Yeah, I think you would overthink it.
I'd probably just have an aneurysm from stress.
That sounds right. What's killing you, Ray?
Everything breaking down. This has been the year of everything breaking down. Like everything has natural wear and tear, but in the span of like a week or so, like I can't open my car door. I can open all the other ones. Just not the one that I use to get in. And then at your show on Saturday, a tooth fell out of my head.
Yep.
Mid-show. Luckily I wasn't bleeding. It was a crown. Got it put back in. And then today my computer doesn't want to maintain battery. And again, they are all inconveniences. I dealt with all of them. But they're all just like, hey, like they planned it. Like they had a meeting.
Yeah.
Like the meetings they think the gays have. Like their agenda is like, could we do these all at the same time? And it's perfect for Ryan's stress. Well, and what's funny is that my stress response is just to like shut down. So like I went and handled it, but normally when people like freak out or they get angry, if you see me sitting in a corner like this, that's me. Too much stuff has happened.
Oh, I know.
And I'm just like over.
I've seen you go catatonic.
I literally turned into just a vegetable. I've thought about, a self-induced coma. Like, just a few days of rest. Yeah. You know what I mean? What's wrong with that? So what's killing you this week? Or are you killing it at? I'm like, I want to talk about more complaints.
You have to wait till like 2 more weeks to do Groundhog's Day episode. What I'm killing it good at is, I guess, getting back at it. I had a show on Saturday and I had a show last night, and today I have 2 auditions and we're recording 2 podcasts. So lots of back into the world.
All right.
And then I have 2 shows in February. One is at the Craftsman House in Anaheim on the 21st, and then Think Tank on the 25th.
Alrighty.
So I'm still trying to maintain my stance of not overbooking 2024 so that I can focus on writing my special.
All right.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you. What are you?
Did you want to do it too? Did you want to do?
I did.
Got
I had FOMO.
You're like, I want to repeat the same segment too. All right, cool. What am I killing it at? Well, I lost 2 pounds this week. Yeah, so it's like a total of like 8 or 10, depending on which scale I use and how I feel about it.
Do you take my advice and weigh in the morning after you poop?
Yes, 100%. Okay. Everyone weigh first thing in the morning, after you sleep and pee and poop.
Yep.
So that's good because it's finally moving. I feel like a lot of been working out every day. Had a great show last night at your Think Tank show. So I should have some new reels up soon, but not really much booked stuff. I've been focused other places, but I need to like reach out to people and be like, hey, I'm still alive. So, but I'm killing it at all the other things that I need to be doing, like putting my teeth back in my head.
Yeah.
So it's in there.
And you were killing it at that happened, and yet you still had a good night and didn't have to rush out and did not go catatonic.
I didn't. I am killing it at refusing to become a vegetable. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, do you want to introduce our guest?
Yes, I'm so excited to have this guy down here. We're like slowly making him a Long Beach native.
Uh-huh.
It will happen. It will happen.
We found some pussy and I like got him down here. Ooh.
I mean, I'm not going to take credit for his girlfriend, but I will encourage her to.
I'm going to. I've never met her, but I did it. It was
you
me.
Did? Yep. All right. Everybody, big round of applause for Robby Wagner.
Hello.
Hello.
Sit right here. All right. Hi.
Hi.
I made it from your kitchen.
So, what's killing you, Robby?
So many things. I'll have to start. Well, for me, LA drivers.
Sure.
I mean, that's such a cliche answer, but it's LA drivers just kill me.
Mm-hmm.
They're angry. Half the drivers don't know what they're doing. They're just. I almost got in a car accident today, just driving to get coffee in Long Beach. Yeah.
I think it's also like we all have this propensity to look at our phones, and I will tell you, it's not just LA drivers, but it's people that are at a unprotected left who are looking at their phones. If you are at an unprotected left, there should be an unspoken rule: no looking at your phone. Because that 1 second that each person needs to hear the honk or that no one gets through the fucking turn.
Yeah.
And it's 1 person each light. And I'm like, back in the day, first of all, also pull all the way into the fucking intersection. Pull onto the other person's side of the road.
Yeah.
So more people can come behind you so that if it turns yellow while you're in there, you can finish the turn.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're sitting there for 2.5 hours. I don't want to do that to go to get coffee.
They're on their TikToks, their Instagrams, their Facebooks.
I've watched people watch porn.
That's so gross.
That's addiction much?
Was it good porn or like bad porn?
It was too far away to see.
Wait,
you could just see things. It was like the phone mount.
They're like...
You could just see. Like, you know when you see porn.
Here's the money shot.
Wait, but have you ever
Yeah.
masturbated in your car though? Honesty?
Yes.
I have.
I have too.
Yeah.
You have too?
You know, when the mood strikes,
Yeah.
it's strikes.
If you have a private moment, you can.
Yeah. I did it while
I don't
driving.
know that I finished.
I've never done it.
I did it while driving. I was like, I want to give myself a challenge. And it was...
Are you allowed to masturbate in an unprotected left?
No.
He's like, no activity
No.
on the left.
Literally be so focused. Like, I've actually even gotten mad at myself when I have like turned, like not been on the phone because that's against the rules, but when I have not seen the light turn green or like been behind, because I'm like, I know how that stacks up. So no masturbating in the light. Honestly, we shouldn't be doing it in our
no
cars
social
either.
media, no masturbation. Basically, no fun while making a life.
Yeah,
no fun.
Honestly, I think that you should be in pain the entire time you're in a car. I think we should all sit on spikes. You know, so we don't stay in our cars as much because it's really awful to commute. It's very bad for your back. I am a big fan of not using my car as often as possible. And my car doesn't even want me to use it. It won't let me the fuck
locked
in.
you out.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So then let's go a little bit further. Have you ever gotten roadhead?
No.
No. I feel like I'd crash. I mean, it's weird. Like
I tried to give a couple of times in my very early days, and like I already like my canines are working against me as far as head goes in general. It's like I'm just stabbing myself, but then with the
sharp turns, bumps
like
in the road.
I very immediately was like, I'm going
What's those canines?
lose teeth and chop your dick off.
Oh my god! You hear the bot stops. It's like. He's like, and I am transitioned now.
I feel like this is like a cautionary tale and giving roadhead now.
Yeah.
Like, or go on a very smooth road. I don't know.
Well, not that I've ever done it or had it done to me, but if I had, it's really just for the novelty of it.
Yeah.
Like I did it down Laurel Canyon once, or it was being done to
That's so
me.
dangerous.
It was very dangerous. I'm not a smart person sometimes.
Not from Los Angeles County, Laurel Canyon is a very windy road up a mountain with no guardrails and no lights.
That is living life on the edge, my friend. Like, I can't believe you lived to tell this tale of yours.
I've done so many things that I'm like, I for sure should be dead, but like the novelty of it, and that's why I say like I appreciate anyone who's enjoyed it. For me, I enjoyed the idea that it was happening.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm a fucking rock star. But then I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, get off me. I have to try.
I'd be more
So you're
impressed.
the receiver and not the giver.
I've done both.
Okay.
Nice.
Onward.
While driving, like to them?
No, not driving. Can you imagine? I'm just like, la la la. I'm like, you take the lead up here, motherfucker.
Yeah. He's like, take a left.
He's like, I'm like, how much left?
All right.
Like, what was those movies with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, where one was blind and one was deaf?
I hear no evil, see no evil, or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those.
Yeah.
Like, where
Yeah.
Can you imagine? First of all, the level of flexibility.
Well, there should be a name for that. Like, should we give a name for it?
Blowing someone while you're driving?
Yeah.
Dead? I don't know. Like, what's your name? It's like fully dead.
Dead man's blow.
You know, there's like a
dead
Dutch,
man's blow.
There's like a what is it?
Dead
like,
man's blow.
instead of
Dead man's blow. Dead man's
blow.
blow. I like that. So you want to do a dead man's blow?
Oh my god, absolutely not.
You want to
Sip.
lose some head?
Yeah. You guys, my 20s were a wild time. I'm just saying, there was a lot of questionable decisions made. I've done other things on Laurel Canyon Boulevard that I'm not going to talk about because they're still illegal.
Isn't that where Kevin Hart went off the road?
No.
Is this story
Oh,
related?
was it?
No, not me and Kevin Hart. No.
You don't stand
It's windy though.
No,
I mean, it's-
that's the only reason. Not because he's straight and I don't know him. That is the one reason. He came up to me and offered it, actually. He was like, would you like to star in a movie? I'll only do it if you give me death by blow. Like,
Death by blow. Now it sounds like cocaine and blowjobs or.
I mean, those also, hey,
Hey.
the 20s were a wild time.
Maybe
no comment.
Shh. Amen.
All right, and back.
That was-
We're back.
We
So
pulled a
how
lot
are
of
you-
material just now.
How are you killing it, Robbie?
Killing it. Well, I'm on a new health kick. Just trying to stay sharp for the new year. I've had like a pretty good amount of shows in January, which is nice.
Amazing.
So booked a lot of good, fun gigs. Doing the Comedy Store next week, so that's gonna be
Which room?
the original room.
I like the original
show?
room.
Yeah, it's it's.
I think that's the only one I haven't done. I've done the main, the bigger one. What's the big one's the main one, right?
Yeah, that's the big one.
The main one.
Yeah.
That's the one I've done, and then I've done
the
ballet.
original room's
Yeah.
like in the window by the bar.
Yeah.
And then
The
there's
one that looks like it's made for comics. Like
Yeah.
that's where they all hang out.
Yeah, like,
so this is like the closet
Yeah.
of the. Yeah, no, it's a great room.
Yeah, I've done the Belly Room and original room. They're both. I mean, the Comedy Store is like one of my favorite spots, if not my favorite spot to perform. There's a lot of cool history.
Yeah.
It's electric.
You just feel the energy of the
Yeah,
building when
it's
you're
just
there.
it has so much great history. I love that it's haunted.
Yeah.
It's fully haunted.
Yeah.
And they still have like the mirrored tables from the 80s in the green
That's
in the
so
green
much
room
fun.
of the main
Bring it back
room.
to
There's
blow.
fully so much cocaine. Like you can still see it. Like if you look in it and say like Pauly Shore 3 times, he appears. Like I'm sure of it.
It's like, hey, you want Coke? Bud?
Okay.
Now he does a kickball change.
Yeah,
right.
He's Richard Simmons. That's how he got fit for the movie. So good for him.
He got mom fit.
Yeah, no, that place is fun, and it also feels. This is gonna come out wrong. Feels old, but it's like storied. You know what I mean? Like Whereas there are other clubs that are super nice, but they feel more of modern times. Like when you're in those hallways, you're like, they designed this before people knew what lifting was. Like they're like too small for like people. You know, like when you're in old houses and then like the ceilings are like this high, and you're like, who the fuck lived here?
Yeah.
Like tiny people. But.
Well, I mean, to be honest, historically, it is one of the like longest running and original like comedy clubs as we know it. Because before that, it was like, you know, vaudeville stuff, Vegas stuff, cruise ships, and like the Catskills, but there wasn't like specifically for comedy clubs.
It was more, it's more modern, kind of pioneered like big club scene. I feel like.
I think that's why the main room reminds me of vaudeville then, because it kind of almost has like a proscenium and like the whole thing. Yeah,
so like you feel like a little clown's gonna come out. For
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm still waiting for. I want to do at one point bucket list in my life to do a show where they have a big ass hook, or they have someone, like tap dance.
Someone's it's like
the guys at Fourth Horseman. We were talking about it because they started. Have you been to Fourth Horseman Pizza in Long Beach?
No, not yet.
It's like a heavy metal pizza place
with a right up my alley.
Like a goth art museum behind it called the Dark Arts Emporium. But they have a monthly comedy show there now, which is great. And they've also been supporting think tanks who are like trying to create like a little like dark nerdy club of comedians in Long Beach. But we were talking about doing an open mic there where I dress up like the Grim Reaper and then pull people off with like
Yo, time's done.
Like, especially like, and right at the beginning when they're doing open mics. Like, so at their most vulnerable, she's like, I'm gonna dress up like death.
Some of those motherfuckers have made my life a living hell, and I'm getting them back.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite place. So let's go back to the beginning because we want to get to know you. So you, Sarah told me you're from San Francisco?
Oakland.
Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you know that Oakland has the distinction of being the first city to have an In-N-Out restaurant closed?
Yeah. Send Oakland the Coast Guard. Like send the Coast Guard to Oakland. It's getting crazy in Oakland. And then I read that they stole a bunch of bonsai trees recently, like in a warehouse. Like it's don't steal anything in Oakland. Like you'll just walk in and be like, "Where'd my wallet go?" Or where did it? Like, where are my hubcaps?
You like walk into the restaurant, you're like, "Was I shirtless?"
Yeah, exactly. What happened to my pants? I'm swear to God, I was wearing pants.
I mean, that's talent, I suppose. So you're from Oakland.
Love Oakland, but it's getting wild up there.
Is that where you started stand-up?
No, I actually, my origin story is I did improv first. So I did improv, and I was a theater nerd in college.
What kind of improv? Like more Second City UCB, more Groundlings?
I did comedysportz first, which is like a chain around. They're more like games. Groundlings,
yeah.
They do games and they do have like a long form.
There was one in Chicago too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're like everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I just started doing improv, like actually in San Francisco and Oakland, like all around the Bay Area. And then I found myself that, LA, I always want to stay at the Groundlings. I was there for a couple of years and just, learned a lot.
Oh, you stayed for a couple of years? Did you wait the 2 years between second and third level when you had, at that point, okay, it's a great school. I was just like, I'm tired of waiting. I'm just going to do stand-up. Well, I mean, but that's, a lot of people shifted, because I did levels 1 and 2 and passed.
Yeah.
And I kind of had an idea that I would, because I had a theater background and some comedy experience and whatnot. And then they were like, okay, so like in 18 months or so, I'm like, in 18 months I could be dead or in China or like wherever.
Or famous.
I mean, just
or married. I don't know.
There was a lot of, so I just I did the 2 and I was like, that was great. And then I also started doing stand-up. And then I found out that there were other types of improv. Like, because I had kind of been raised, I'm from Orange County, but we did a little bit of comedysportz. I think they cribbed comedysportz, or either comedysportz came in and taught us something. I don't know if they have corporate arm, but in my high school. So we knew a little bit of those games. And then
it was also like the rise of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, it was very of that time. But then I saw like UCB and Second City, and it was a little different.
Also studied UCB for a year.
Did you like it?
I think it's great for the writing mind.
Yeah,
for me, it helped my stand up a lot.
Actually. Yeah, that's it helps with writing. I just got in my head. Sometimes I'm like, I don't have a game. Like I don't have a game or premise right away. Like that's what they're like. They want the game right away.
Yeah.
I think I was more drawn to Groundlings because they're like, obviously
first.
character and relationship and space work. Like I had teachers who were like all about space work, and it's true. It's like that's another character.
I was so
play
bummed
with, yeah.
about the pandemic. I know, hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take. Bummed about the pandemic.
But I was super excited. Masturbating and crying every day was my dream.
I had to take
so.
like a decade break from performing to be a responsible adult. When I finally got to come back, my master plan was to do UCB first and then go to Groundlings. I wanted to do both. I did literally all 4 levels of UCB. My graduation class was literally the last show at the Sunset campus right before lockdown.
Damn.
Oh. And then it closed.
And then it closed.
Yeah.
And I could technically use that cachet to go be on a team somewhere or whatever. But my goal was to go into Groundlings. You just have all the training, and now Groundlings for the first 3 you got to do it online. And I don't want to do improv character online.
Oh no, there's no.
You have to play. There's
no.
How can you? I mean, you can to a certain extent, but it's it's way more fun on stage.
Yeah.
You want to play with people.
Well, it's energy, and you can get things out of
playing with people,
from seeing
them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Ideas and things like that.
Yeah,
just energy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was in an improv group from Groundlings. That was a great group. And what we did is we wanted more one-on-one time, so we just got a teacher from the Groundlings who we loved, and just made us some badass improvisers. Just more one-on-one time. So if you guys want advice, if you go to get improv, do that. Just get someone you love one-on-one, and they'll figure out your weaknesses. You work with them every week. They'll figure out your weaknesses, your strengths. They'll just really one-on-one work with your group. So in my humble opinion, you can take a lot of classes of course too, but sometimes it's a lot of money.
So sometimes most of the time.
I did for my commute situation. I loved the campus of Sunset. I know that they blew all the money very irresponsibly, which is why it doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But for my thing, because it was my artsy day where I got to escape my hellish day job. So I would drive out and post up at the Inner Sanctum, which is their little coffee shop, and do some work and eavesdrop on everybody and pretend that I was still in my 20s, and then go do a class and then go see a show. And it was great.
It was great. I used to live right up the street from the Sunset school.
Nice.
So I do the same. We go to the cafe, watch some fun shows, and the big theater, the little theater. That was huge. There was a ton of classes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a bummer it's closed.
It was such a great space.
Yeah.
But when there was rumblings about misappropriation of funds pre-pandemic, and I'm I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I think the pandemic just put the
also putting comics in charge of anyone's money, even their own. I'm just no, this is gonna get misspent.
Yeah.
Weed and Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started as an improv performer, and so did you move to from San Francisco to or Oakland to LA with the dream of being an actor or
just always,
writer?
Look at my
actor.
Thank you. Sorry.
I mean, of course, you want to model yourself sometimes after comedians you look up to. I was so drawn to Groundlings forever because it's legends that come out there, Will Ferrell.
He grew up down the street from me. He wasn't there by the time I was there because he's much older than I am, but he was one of my obsessions. That's why I went to Groundlings.
Yeah,
it was him and Chris Farley.
I filmed a movie in his backyard right before the pandemic.
Oh,
and peed in his house. Never met him, but it peed in his house.
Love you, Will Ferrell. Hi. Put me in your movie. Love you. Yeah, and I just Paul Rubens. The list goes on. I'm blanking right now, but it's and I've seen shows there. It's great.
Sakudro, lots of people.
Yeah, really fun school. Learned a lot. Met a lot of great people. But then I don't know. Just I did improv for so long. And I was so terrified to do stand up. Actually, I was oh my god, it's just you on stage. What happens if you get heckled? You have so many concerns and fears. And then my friend was she's like, fuck it, just do stand up. And I was like, you know what, I am. And then I just did it. Embrace the fear, and embrace the bomb. Just embrace it all, just take it all. Just do it a lot.
Yeah.
That's really how you get better.
Between the two, I actually am more afraid of improv, but I think it's a control thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm always I gotta make sure whoever I'm improving with knows the fucking skills.
Yeah.
Because if I hear the word no, I will shit on that
was the bummer.
and throw it at you.
Yeah.
That was the bummer of the classes. To be honest, it's the same way I feel about my college fucking degree, as you don't get to pick who you're there with. And it's in an ensemble situation, it's so fucking important. So
Yeah.
if you got a few turds floating in that punch bowl, you're wasting a whole bunch of time.
That's why I say get with a group you get along with.
Pick 'em. Make your own
pick 'em.
improv troupe.
That's what we did, and me and my group. Unfortunately, we're not together anymore, but we were like a badass improv group. We just had so
What was
much
your
fun.
name?
We were called Soft Piano.
Nice.
That was our name. Yeah, great.
Gay.
Hey. Should call it hard piano.
Yeah, that's less gay.
You guys just all have like guitars.
Yes, guitars.
Oh my god. That's so interesting. You got pushed into stand-up because I did too. Because I started my career actually as a dancer, a professional dancer. So I was doing like music videos and stuff.
Gay.
Yeah.
Straight.
I was just talking about blowing someone on Laurel Canyon. Like,
Wait, you're gay?
Yes, all of that was about pussy. I'm sure that's what people were thinking. They were like, wow, cunnilingus in that position. Not today.
Head is for
Interesting.
both.
Yeah, no.
Head is for both.
No, if I'm going to miss the mark, it's not by that much.
So this has bugged me forever. Why is it called a blowjob? There's no blowing involved.
Should it be called a suck job?
It should be called a suck job. Like
A suck
sucking
task.
someone off makes total
A
sense.
suck task.
But they also call it a tug job, and I will tell you, if you're tugging at it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Also,
you're not really rubbing it either.
yeah.
Like a rub and a tug is a little
Yeah.
more accurate.
I've had to teach girls like, oh, teeth, the hand, like.
Yeah.
That's
No,
why you should
yeah.
always date
It's
a
not a
girl.
puppet.
By the way, always date a girl who's friends with a gay guy because she'll give you good head. Because she'll know. She'll have been taught.
Good to know.
I'm just telling you.
I think Dave would disagree.
Oh, about your head? Well, that's bad because of your teeth. You're
It is
like
my
a werewolf. When she stretches out, she grows new teeth. So yeah,
It's true.
I'm like, yeah, I can understand. That's not my fault. Okay.
I'm like one life crisis away from vagina dentata.
Oh, wow.
Deep
Oh,
cuts.
chompers down
Yeah.
there.
Did you guys see that movie?
The one
Oh,
where
my
she bites
girlfriend
out
showed me
Jason.
that movie.
It's called Teeth, right? With Megan, what's her name? Yeah, with the one with the weird thumb.
Yes.
That's,
Well, there's a couple.
and Amanda
yes.
Seyfried's
Yes.
in that.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's a great movie.
Mhm.
It's terrifying.
It's traumatizing, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, does she
Why don't
does she have
things
a
like
brush
that
on there?
get like Oscar nominations for special effects?
Maybe she got nominated for acting because the acting was incredible.
I kind of like sometimes acting so bad that it's good again. Like,
Oh.
it cycles back around. I'm like, this is so camp that it's perfect. Like, everything about it was insane.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to be honest, that's what I feel about Iron Claw. But
I haven't seen it.
I haven't
Have you
seen it
seen
yet.
it?
I'm a huge wrestling
Okay.
fan, so.
it's a tragedy. It is a big, big tragedy. Like, so much of a tragedy that if it had different actors, it would 100% have been a comedy. Because, like, that many things can't happen.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know?
what happened, which is
It's
insane.
a
Yeah.
real
Oh, it's a
story.
real story.
It's a
It's
real story.
Yeah.
But then because it's about men who like can't process their emotions, it's just all this tragedy and roided out dudes with spray tans and little underwear go, brother, I used to be a brother.
I'll be so
Will
for
you
you,
be
Dad.
my brother?
Yeah.
It's just like,
I'll make you proud,
I
Pa.
lost another brother. That's it.
They drop
Spoiler
like
alert.
flies. Yeah.
Watching straight men try to emote after a lifetime of trying not to is hysterical.
Texas straight
It's
man.
so funny.
That's what makes
It's
it great.
so
It's
funny.
a lot. It's a lot.
Ugh.
And then I realized that some people might think I'm racist. And no.
Yeah, really?
Now we
real
definitely
quiet.
do. Now we definitely do.
What's the set? What's the punchline?
She's
I
like,
made
black
a
people.
I'm not racist, but...
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, what shit is about to come out?
I know, we're so like, what's going
You're very nervous.
I made a joke saying that they should have named the movie Monkey Paw instead of Iron Claw because Monkey Paw historically is like a bad luck.
Oh my.
Oh,
Thing.
yeah. Oh, that's not racist.
I know, but some people don't know what a monkey pie is and thought I was being racist.
Oh, did you say it on stage or something?
No, I mean, like, on a thread. I've been trying to embrace
Oh, you've been threading?
threads.
Yeah.
No.
Not thread.
No.
I still don't know what threads are.
No.
It's a tweet like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a tweet,
It's their new tweets. I love that they, by the way, I noticed this the other day because I went on to X and it still says in the search bar, Twitter. Like if you like, they only just changed the app site, like the thing for Elon. So when he looks at his phone, he's like, it's called X now. I'm like, no one calls it that. Like,
and like all ads are like formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're just calling it Twitter.
It's such a bummer, Twitter. I mean, I've never really gone Twitter, but it was way more fun before obviously you took over.
Sure.
I remember I was going through my app, I was like, what the fuck is my X app? And I was like, oh, that's Twitter. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Have you guys
That's how
ever
often I really
stumbled upon and I mean, searched out and found the porn part of Twitter?
No.
Oh my, there's hardcore porn. Yeah.
Wild! And like people, first of all, I think I've seen everyone's dick. There are so many people who like, they're like a fitness account on Instagram and they're all buttoned up, and then you go to Twitter, or X as it's now called, maybe more appropriately for them, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, it's the whole thing. It's like,
it's
and it's like
hardcore.
this, and they're just like doing like lifts with like this thing swinging around. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I saved it, but just saying, it's
stretch.
For real.
Yeah.
Since we're having a little social media time, I got put in Facebook jail last night.
Oh, what'd you do?
I'm always in Facebook jail.
One of my comedy friends from Chicago put, so I think somebody stole my joke, what should I do about it? And I said, punch him in the dick.
That's
Oh
it.
yeah, any violence, it's like you're in time
Violence,
out.
and especially if you make it violence toward a man,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
jail.
Yeah.
I just don't even post on Facebook anymore. I post on Instagram and let it post to Facebook.
Yeah.
And then people will be like, oh, I saw your thing. And I was like, on the Facebook? Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So when you were doing, when you were transitioning and being pushed into stand-up, do you feel like, I feel like improv greatly helps any stand-up.
Oh,
I think they should all do it.
Yeah.
But did you ever, like when you started, because I like to riff, did you ever feel like I need to have material? Because you could probably go up as a good improver and do a 5-minute set where you have nothing prepared. Someone could give you 5 words and you could just do it.
When I first started doing stand-up, I was like
By the book.
so by the book. I was like, I need to know this. I need to know my material. But, you know, when you do it a lot more, you get more comfortable. And so I think in what I do, I've gotten so comfortable with my material that now I can improvise.
Yeah.
Got it.
You know what I mean? I really do this. Even when I go to open mics, I really try to have like either a new joke or, you know, my usual jokes just to keep them warm. And then I try to riff. And that's another thing at the top. So usually if it's slotted, I try to go like middle or last. So I kind of just riff and try to get anything. I mean, we're comedians. We try to get anything from everything.
Yeah.
Pull whatever you can. Maybe it was like a word someone said or like whatever it is. And it helps you, you know, it helps with your brain muscles, your comedy brain muscles.
100%.
But I think improv is so essential for stand up for me. You know, it's helped us out, or all 3 of us. And it really helps you get out of your head. Like, and it learns you to be playful on stage too.
Yeah.
I think
it's like,
yeah.
both improv and acting help me with this. Like, you can never be natural on stage if you don't acknowledge everything that's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, shit's always going to go off the rails.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you ignore it, then everybody's taken out of it. And they're like, why aren't you acknowledging that your pants just fell off?
Yeah.
Or that, you know,
Are you in Oakland? Are you in Oakland? They're getting stolen.
Yeah, somebody stole my pants and I'm
What
not
the
it.
pants?
Or there's, you know, like a drunk vet at the end of the bar being like, where's my benefits? Like,
Yeah,
you have to, like, bring that in or then it kills the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think, and with, I guess with both art forms, it's really giving yourself over to the energy, the spirit of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe, you know what I mean? It's like you have your material, but sometimes you kind of get in the zone, you know, when you're on, it's like, it just give it, yeah, exactly. Auto zone.
She's like, that's where all comedians go.
Yeah, the auto zone. They kill and they want an oil change.
On Laurel Canyon. That's
yeah.
Sorry.
That's what we would call it, an oil change.
What do we call it? Not
It's a lube job.
Death by blow was what?
what was death blow? That's what it is,
Death
death blow. So yeah, just submitting or kind of giving yourself to the space, giving yourself like basically getting out of your head. You know, just having fun with it. I think when you're having so much fun with it, even when you're bombing, it's still like I will be fucking damned if I have like an audience take away my fun or whoever.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's like no laughs, I'm like fuck this. I'm still gonna do my material. You know, I'm still gonna have fun. So
yeah, I found a way because I was trying to just be very precise about everything, and I realized that wasn't my style. So I had to learn a way to like write it and then like not unlearn it, but then just pick out like what the major veins of it were, and then let myself improv around it.
That's exactly what I do too.
Like because otherwise, when I do the jokes sheerly as written script word for word, they're not as good for me.
It's
just not I'm not in the flow of it.
It's not as funny. Well, it's not as funny because you'll be, when you get loose with it, again, like I do the same. I'm like, I pick main points, like I'll have like, the beginning, like, I don't know, it'd be like, I hate shitty drivers, and then you go and your bullet points, I think it's important to have. It's kind of important to have like a little roadmap, but then you can veer off. You can veer off, go down this road, or maybe let's try. I feel like there's no right or wrong way to do it. You're figuring. The more you do it, I'm still trying to figure out my process.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
I'm thinking about doing a fun thing at Mike's this year, and I might debut it at the Roost, which we can talk about.
Oh, hell yeah! Oh,
but so my goal between now and the end of the year is to record my first special called Shrimply the Best. So
I love that. Yeah.
I'm working on a tight hour right now, but I also want to play with transitions because sometimes I get stuck in like these 5 things need to go together, and there could be other combos that are better or lead to like different paths.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to do like fishbowl method where I put all my prompts in a bowl and have like 5 different people draw a thing in the audience, and then I just like point to them and they say whatever they have in their hand and I don't know it, and then I have to do that bit into the next one.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and just kind of, I think that's important. One of the best mics I've ever done, Ashley Casanova, I don't know if she does it. Hello, Ashley. She used to do writer's block. So we would go up and we would get prompts. It's the same thing. So like we would go up and we'd be like tacos, and you'd have to give an opinion about it. But I loved it because it was you're so in the moment, you're improvising, and nothing is wrong. Everything you're saying is right. There's no wrong or right answer really. It's just improvised, and it was so freeing.
There's a mic like that in Long Beach. The first
mic at Friend Zone.
It's the first Thursday or the last Thursday.
I think the last Thursday.
Last Thursday of every month at the Beer Lab, but it's Friend Zone. But it's another like you pull out a sentence and then you riff on it for as long as possible, and then go on to the next one. And
it was hilarious when we did. It was just like it's so because it's such a strong opinion, and you're like in the moment.
Yeah.
Which is that's stand up.
Yeah.
Well, it can also teach you to like stick with it. Like I always encourage people at that riff mic to be like, even if you don't think you have anything, don't pass up questions. Don't or like if you get tacos and you don't like tacos, talk about how you don't like tacos.
Yeah.
Or like why you don't understand why people are obsessed with tacos. Like it makes you think about things from different angles. And especially
what the fuck is a snack taco?
Yeah.
That's
probably a smaller taco. For me, it's any taco.
Del Taco right now. Snack tacos for 69 cents.
Damn, tacos
are just
right
smaller. They do sound good.
Yeah, like I remember my first prompt was like, it was so funny. It was so dark. It was like racism. I was like, that's the prompt you gave the very first prompt, and I just like laid into the fact that I got racism as my first prompt.
Well, and you still totally did the prompt.
Well, it sucks. We all know it's bad. It was kind of ready to go.
It was like racism. I love it. Let's talk about it.
Everybody does it.
Don't you wish racists were just nice? Just like a nice racist. I don't know.
It's like, it's comfortable for me.
Get comfortable with racism.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun to always also try to push premises and topics on their head. Like, obviously I wouldn't do racism because that's obviously a bad thing.
That's what I said.
But
right, I got racism.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard one, but I honestly, in that moment, I would have been like, what's so bad about it? But I'd be playing a character trying to lampoon, I would be lampooning somebody who says it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I don't see color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's a really good way to find out that you are a racist, is if you don't see color.
Oh my god, I'm a racist.
Yeah, okay. Middle of the stage, just full breakdown.
And just start
apologizing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's how you should react to a heckler. I really want to try this. I gotta get my crying muscles back up, but if someone heckles me, I just want to stop and just fully start crying right in their face and make eye contact with them the whole time. Nothing makes me more uncomfortable than a full grown man.
Yeah. They're like, fuck, I'm sorry. Guilt them?
Why?
Guilt them?
Just say why. Slowly. Every time it's like, why?
I've shown my man tits. I'm just like, someone's
I'm always sad that I'm
shut up!
because I want to get the picture.
Yeah.
By the time my phone, it's always over.
I did that.
Gotta be there.
I did that. I actually learned that trick. I know, again, you do all these crazy gigs, open mic shows, And there was just loud. It was like after a sports event or like in the bar. So it was super loud. Like every comedian before me went up, I couldn't hear them. That's how loud it was. It was just so loud. And they were like, it was all here. And I was like, God damn it, how am I going to shut them up? And I was like, hey, everyone, look at these tits! And then I just did that. And then they're like,
yes,
zoop! Yeah, and I was like, great, I got your attention. And it's just tricks you learn, or not tricks, it's tools you learn as a comedian, just to navigate.
Do you ever get afraid of certain things becoming like a thing that, like, for example, Bert Kreischer's doing great, obviously, but I'm also like, God, he never gets to wear a shirt on stage.
Yeah,
and I was like, he just never,
He made that bad, he's fine.
No, he's wealthy, and he's doing great, and he's very funny, and I'm sure he's fine with it, but I know there would be nights, like if I had a thing, like a one particular thing that everyone was expecting, especially like a physical thing, like if I had to wear, it's why I will never do drag, I don't like getting attached, like even Pee Wee Herman, who was very funny, he became Pee Wee Herman, but he also existed as Paul Rubens. I was like,
and he was a great character.
And,
we did a bunch of other shows.
And he totally was great. And Elvira, who also went to Groundlings, who played Mistress of the Dark. Her name's Cassandra, I think. And I always just wonder, like, do you ever get worried that you're going to become like the tits guy?
I do limit it now.
Yeah,
I've done it so much. Yeah. Because I also do a titty dance. I do. My tits are great.
Spectacular.
I got spectacular man
In the
tits,
words of Salvador Dali, if you've got it, flaunt it.
That's exactly what I have. And I get what you're saying. Sometimes I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to get stuck in that like box. But honestly, if it's gonna make me like $1 million, I'm gonna do it.
By the way, I always
take my tits out for way less.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
for breakfast. You know what I mean?
For tacos.
Yeah, for giant snack tacos. Not even full size ones. Not even full size ones.
Daddy was hungry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I guess maybe follow up question, but like I had a friend, comic actually that I opened for. Do you know Jen Kober?
It sounds familiar.
So anyway, Julian opened for her, and she's a really great comic, heavier woman, smaller now, but she was like, I'm losing all this weight, and she's like, what am I going to talk about? Where's all my material?
Well, I actually had and yes, if your material's just weight stuff, that's a problem. Because you've lost it all. But like, there was another comic that I kind of came up with when I first moved out here that just posted. And she's like, I used to do all my stuff about being like a hot girl in my 20s dating, and I'm not that anymore. And I'm like, well, that's why you do stuff that's like, I always swing for the weirdos. Because I am a weirdo. There are weirdos in every generation. If you go to that truth of you versus like a superficial piece of you that could change, then you're always going to connect. Yeah. And your shit's always going to work. But if you go just surface, and surface is very fluctuating, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and you can always talk about the mindset. Because I gain and lose weight a lot. Like, I lose 50 pounds and then gain 40, lose 40 and then gain 30. So I'm like, every 2 years I have a new body. But you can always talk about...
In your trunk.
Yeah, in my trunk, pretty much. It's Laurel Canyon. I bit down, so he bled out, and I was just like, okay, bye.
See you later, call me later.
I have to put you in the trunk.
At least that
Denmark's very heavy, very heavy. No, but you can talk about the emotional reality of it. Like when I lose weight and people treat me differently, it kind of pisses me off that they didn't treat me better when I hadn't lost weight. Or like people who never talk to you who hit on you. It's like, or the way that your brain doesn't actually shift to recognize the changes in your body, but other people's reaction to you does. Like I'll always be a fat kid. I was a fat kid, so no matter how in shape I am, even when I had a six-pack for 2 months in my 20s, literally, it was the best It was the best hungriest 2 months of my life. I was such a cunt. You never see yourself that way. So there's ways to talk about it, but I always wonder if people, if someone like Angela Johnson with the nail lady, she still does touch on it. She's luckily been able to expand her repertoire, but I just wonder how you feel about do you feel like there's anything that holds you in or? Yeah,
and again, being on this health kick, I have to do it for health reasons. So I am going to get thin. So I was making a joke. I was like, I guess can't make my fat jokes anymore. But I don't have all fat jokes. Right. I try to switch it up. Like, basically for me, I am kind of more of like a storyteller, observational comedian. Yeah. So I just pull from my life. Like, I pull so much from my 20s. I was like, my 20s were a hot mess. I'm like, great, I could get to talk about this in stand-up, you know? or just, hot mess in life. I mean, we talk about all our messes on stage.
I've done that before where I like had prepared sets and then like it went fine or good. And then I went up one time and like similar timing, like a day later, and just told a story from my life. No punchlines, no jokes, went even better.
Yeah.
And I didn't even embellish. I was just like, this is just a thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I'm trying to be serious, I'm like, please don't ever ask me anything about my life, because when I say it to you, you're going to react like you always do when I tell you any part of my life, which is just like, what?
Yeah.
It's really nuts.
And it's scary to kind of just talk about something out of nothing. It is scary. I get what you're saying, because I think comedians sometimes we get so fixated on our material. As you know, I'm very I don't want to say militant, but for writing, I'm like, I want to do this joke. That's great. But sometimes you want to get out of your head and just maybe like last night, I kind of riffed. I went off like my material and I started talking about Jumbo's Clown Room, which I've been to. I don't know if you guys
What is this?
It's like it's more strip club than burlesque, but not full strip club.
Yeah. And just
So
talking
like
about
pasties but no nips.
Yeah, and there's usually like a little character action involved.
Yeah, it's more
Like
like
it's
an
a fun place
experience.
to hang out.
It's more like a show.
Yeah.
Stripping is like I'm gonna make it come. I don't know. I don't.
I've never been to a female strip club.
Give me a dance.
Like, I hope they don't actually
give me
come
money.
at the place.
No.
Strip clubs have a lot more sadness than Jumbo's Clown Room.
Jumbo's Clown Room is like it's like a party. It's like these. They're so good on the pole. They just do all these amazing.
So
dances.
it's like more almost like you said, like a burlesque.
It's like a burlesque, but it's not as full. Like you pay a ticket, sit down, shut the fuck up, watch the burlesque.
It's more artistic.
Oh, okay.
It's like have drinks with a friend, and then there's a sexy clown, and
Yeah, I just kind of talked about my experience of Jumbo's Clown Room.
Okay.
Because I said that everyone's like, Jumbo's Clown. Like they all got like super excited. I mean, it's
Is
fun.
it called Yumbos or Jumbos?
Jumbos. Sorry,
Okay, so it's like
Jumbos.
yeah.
Although
I love the name Yumbo.
I have like an inside baseball joke with my husband. Like anytime I make something delicious, I'm like Jumbo's Clown Room.
Really?
It makes no sense to anybody that doesn't know Jumbo's Clown Room exists. And then that gets stuck in my head, and that's just my thing now. But
I love Yumbos.
Yeah.
I would go to Yumbos before Jumbo. I don't know why Jumbos. It just sounds funner.
Yeah, I know. And one of the comedians last night was a dancer in the 80s at Jumbo's Clown
Amazing.
Room. Yeah.
It's been around that long?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's been around
Since the
60s,
60s,
yeah.
And it's still here?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's still strong.
I love that.
We should go.
I want to go.
Yeah.
I wanna
went
go.
with like a roll.
It is Hollywood as fuck.
I love it.
In the real like
the gritty
It's
way.
an
Yeah,
iconic
the gritty way.
establishment. in
Like
LA.
the floors are sticky, like always. Yeah, like.
Not just from
I love
alcohol.
that.
Yeah, not just from alcohol.
No, I like the Key Club and the Roxy are like that too. Like they're just you're in them and you're like there's so much sadness and on these walls.
Yeah.
Like and they probably happened at the same time.
Yeah.
Every
It's a release.
LA club, I love it. I went to the Viper Room recently. Fucking so much fun.
I thought they were
I don't think I've been to the Viper.
I don't know. I heard so too. So I hope they stay.
I think it's
Viper
a
Room is-
historic landmark. If they can save the Formosa Cafe, they can save the Viper Room.
Oh yeah, it's so many rock stars. got
Too
their
many
start there.
famous people died there.
Yeah,
Jesus.
exactly.
Okay.
It's true.
Well, then the Chateau Marmont's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also it's not going anywhere because I think that people just stay there and like live there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Living in a hotel, it
To be
sounds
that
fun.
rich.
Yeah, to be that rich.
Yeah.
God damn.
I just want somebody to come and make my bed every day.
Yeah.
That's it?
I just
Well,
want
like
to
bathroom, just permanently like.
So you want a maid?
I want a
Yeah,
maid so
but like,
bad.
yeah. That I don't have to employ. You know what I mean? Like
That you don't have to employ?
Like that I don't have to manage. Like if you have a maid for your house, you manage that maid. If you have a maid
Okay,
in the
well, that might be a
hotel,
control issue.
you don't have to do anything. You just show up and it's magically better.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I want for my house.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
So it's just a maid.
To be like,
you guys want
I just want a maid. Yeah. I just want a maid.
They haven't invented these things.
I just-
They're called
So you
maids.
grew up poor without saying you grew up poor.
I mean, that's the reason I'm not chiming in because I grew up. We did have one. Whatever. My parents, they're broke as shit now, so it's not like I'm inheriting anything. But growing up, we definitely had. Both my parents worked full time at the accounting firm that they owned, and so we had a nanny / maid. So she was there all day.
Okay.
Nice.
And yes, and then she fell asleep one day and forgot to let us into the house. And my mom came home and she saw me and my sister sitting on the steps like this, and she got fired. So
Valid.
Yeah.
That's
That's a point.
That's a favorable
like
effect.
60% of why she was there is to make sure that we lived.
Yeah.
So,
again, stressful for your mom to manage.
Yes.
Where if that maid was at a hotel, the hotel manager had to manage that maid, not your mom. She just got to reap the benefits.
I was all, just don't have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your maid doesn't have to open the door for anybody.
No problem. So we've tap danced around the Roost. You co-host the Roost. Is that your first like production in LA or?
I was doing stuff at another bar called the Cantique in Glendale, which was a really fun spot to do comedy, and they had like special nights like karaoke night or whatever night it was, and I did that a few times, and then they moved.
Okay.
They closed that bar, and I was just like, okay, I'm in disarray. I'm just kind of doing open mics and all that stuff, and me and Kevin linked up, became good friends, and he was like, hey, let's just do the Roost. And I was like, I love the Roost. My favorite bar in LA, hands down, the Roost. Guys, check it out. It's amazing.
It feels like a Chicago dive bar in the best way humanly possible.
Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me, they're like, your mic feels like a really like fun New York show, like a New York, maybe East Coast, Midwest type vibe. It's so homey and cozy.
It is super cozy.
And it's so. I mean, you've been there. It's just like the vibes are good.
Yep.
I think me and Kevin, we're like we have great like rhythm, great chemistry, and we're just there. I think we're just kind of. Sometimes you get a little bummed out with like sometimes open mics can be soulless.
Oh yeah.
You just like they suck the soul. Like people are there just like looking bored. I'm not saying you gotta laugh at everything, but be engaged. Like we're all in it. Like let's just have fun, and that's the vibe we wanted to create.
Yeah.
Just go up there, and if you're gonna bomb, like bomb with fun.
Bomb hard.
Exactly, bomb hard.
Honestly, sometimes leaning into the bomb makes it really funny.
Oh, so funny. You get to comment on your bomb. Oh, it's great. And,
how did you decide on the format? Because you do a mix of a slotted show and mic, right?
Yeah, I think I think that was more Kevin's idea. Thinking about it, at first it was like a mic, and then he was like, "Well, why don't we kind of book features at the top, to kind of have that show vibe." And it's kind of genius because that show vibe kind of carries over into the mic.
Yeah, it sets them up so that people are coming in and doing just completely new material and not because you want to get them prime the pump for people to actually laugh.
Well,
I didn't even think about it when I did that.
Like, thank you very much for making me a feature. I felt honored. But like the times that I've come not a feature, when I see who's on there, I'm like, am I going to go to the Improv this week or am I going to go there? And I'm like, oh, I love these people. I'd rather spend my time with these people than like in a sea of.
We're kind of like of cuds.
Yeah. We're kind of like I just thought about this. We're kind of like the Cheers of like open mics. I think it's like, come on, have a drink, let's laugh. Like it's like we all just want to laugh together. We want to kind of. It's like a release, And again, it's just we're all about having a good time. I know each mic's gonna be different. One is better than the other. It's always the energy. But every mic is different energy. Yeah. But I think it's going very successfully. We're getting a lot of the usuals. We're getting consistent comedians coming back.
That's great.
I think it's just a fun spot to just do new material, do whatever you want. That's all. I mean, I'm gonna hype it up. It's me and Kevin's mic. I think we surprise ourselves. I like how it's fun. It's just go out there and just like have fun. Like.
So if you had to give any advice to somebody potentially starting a mic, if they don't live in LA or somewhere, what would you say are some good just like tips to get engaged with like a bar owner or somebody? Like how do you go about doing it?
Yeah, I mean for us it was just like a spot we really loved, Kevin had to get like a sound system. Again, he's been spearheading this mic. It's like all Kevin. I'm just kind of like the support. Like I help book comedians, but he's the guy who just really does it all. I would say just find a spot you love and like just ask them. You're like, hey, can I do a show here? Like maybe we'll do. That's what we did. We're like, oh hey, Tuesday nights, can we come through? Like whatever dead nights there are, we'll come and do your show. And that's what it is. And I really like it because really not a lot of people go there on Tuesday nights. So then it's for the comedians, which I love. That's another thing I like about it. But yeah, just find a spot. It could be like a cafe, it could be like a restaurant, whatever. I don't know if they have a sound system. You could talk to the bar, whatever the venue. But you might have to like invest in a sound system. But you can find cheap ones nowadays. I mean, we're in technological age. You go on like Amazon or whatever.
Yeah, I have a little like rolly karaoke.
Yeah, and that's
for like
perfect.
$50. Which
Is that the thing that you use at Think Tank?
No, I'm blessed at Think Tank because
They
it's
have
a
the
music
thing,
venue,
yeah.
so they have like a whole sound
Yeah.
system. I had to buy my own mic cord and mic that plugs into that wall.
I was like,
But that same mic and mic cord plug into my little karaoke machine. So when we were doing the poetry night at the hangout, we would bring that, and that was the mic
okay.
for that. So
Yeah.
cool.
And I'm sure you did the same. You're like, oh man, I love a Pike Bar. My favorite bar in Long Beach.
Same.
I love Pike Bar.
It's got a good energy.
Yeah, it's fun. I love the staff. Great food. Great
I
drinks.
felt like a rock star too because I grew up like a super punk rock fan, and so like I was going to the Pike A because it's walking distance from my house, B because it's owned by the original drummer from Social Distortion.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, and so like I had my eye on it pre-pandemic to be like I want that to be a thing, but I know that a bunch of other comics in Long Beach had asked him, and he was like, "Fuck that shit."
Yeah.
And so I like waited till like the right time. So I actually started Think Tank online during the pandemic. It was a Zoom show for an entire year.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, I reached out to him and I'm like, I know things are about to open back up. I'm betting you don't have like full booking. I would love to do a slow night, like a Tuesday. I promise for the first 6 months to only book Long Beach comics so they bring their friends and family in, because I know that you only book local bands because it's the same thing. It's like growing an indie scene and really supporting the community you're in. And he's like, in these divisive times, I'm like real nervous to do comedy. And I go, Chris Reese, that's the least punk rock thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
And he's like, touche. And I'm like, but I also take producing really seriously.
Yeah.
And I'll never book any, like I don't book off clips, and I will never book anybody that I've never seen live. Like I'm never going to book somebody that's going to freak out if they bomb or attack the staff or attack the guests or just like be not funny, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's really the criteria, is you gotta be fucking funny.
Yeah.
And now he loves it. Like I had my 40th show last night.
Wow.
Woo! She's over the hill, baby.
It's amazing.
Great show.
Yeah, it was fully packed.
Yeah.
Like I used to have to split it with jazz, but I was the one bringing the people and the jazz wasn't. Now it's fully my night.
Nice.
And it feels really good. Like you guys feel the same thing with the Roost. It feels really cool to be able to fully pack a bar just with your own shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's what happened last night. It was just like, even Kevin was like, oh man, it's dead. You know, it was like 6:30, and I get there and I was like, just wait.
Yeah.
And then like packed, like
Well, this time of
comedians.
year is so misleading because it
comedians back
gets
there.
dark at 5, so all of us want to kill ourselves by 7.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah. So
Am I
dramatic.
wrong?
No, but I want to kill myself like several times throughout the day. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a like, is it now? Is it now?
but
I'm
that's my
lazy.
advice. Just like find some place you really love and produce, and like you get to help each other out. It's like, wow, I put you on my show, maybe you put me on your show. It's like networking. It's fun. And what I love especially about Think Tank and After School Special is like we're just very communal.
Yeah.
Like we're very like, I love seeing familiar faces come back. New faces are always welcome. It's just, yeah, we just want to make it like a Cheers type vibe with comedy. So.
Which is better because Cheers was just a bunch of alcoholics sitting
Yeah.
in a bar.
Oh, so it's
Welcome to comedy.
Yeah, that's where I am.
So it's after school special, that's why we're all drinking bitters and soda.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Everyone's like sober again.
Yeah.
Like they should do a Cheers reboot where everyone's in rehab.
Oh my god, I just realized I'm literally the norm of the Roost. Like I go to my usual spot in the corner and everyone's like, Robby!
Oh my god.
Norm! I'm like, oh, my tall can't
I will slowly, by earrings, earn the Carla. I
Yeah.
will earn the
Yeah. I'm the norm.
Wow. I don't know who I am. I'm probably that bitchy wife that comes in.
Oh, Maris?
Yeah. I'm like, ew. Okay.
Alright, so it is magic question hour. I know time flies when we're having fun.
Yeah.
So if you could meet you when you first started your comedy journey, what would you tell yourself?
Oh my god. Bomb a lot. Bomb hard. Really push through. There is a moment when I first started doing stand-up and improv, it's like you're gonna suck for a long time. Like you're gonna, I don't know, X amount of time. Like it could be 6 months, could be a year, could be 2 years, I don't know. I would just tell them don't be so hard on yourself. I think we're just always hard on ourselves, and just be very forgiving. It's like you gotta really just do it a lot to get good at it. You know, no one's great at anything like right away.
Yep.
Or most people aren't.
I would be scared too. I also don't get scared if you're good at it right away and then you're not good at it for a while.
Yes.
Because I had a few really, really great shows. I didn't bomb for the first like few months that I did it, maybe even 6 months. And then I had my first, and it's jarring. It's jarring because you're like, I'm fucking impervious.
I
Like,
think it's
and then it's like,
I think it's
needed
important.
that.
And
it's important. Yeah.
It happens to everybody. Like I had say what you will about Flappers. I have love-hate relationship with them. But I did produce a show there for a couple of times right post-pandemic, and I had the very great fortune of Howie Mandel doing a drop-in to work out new stuff.
Oh, wow.
And he just like talked about his whole origin story really, and he's like, I kind of shot myself in the foot because I like had no clue what I was doing, and a friend like threw me on stage at my first open mic. It was this packed club, and I put the fucking rubber glove on my head.
Yeah.
And that started everything, but he's like, I had no training, I had no background, I had no vision, and so then it was just me like trying to live up to this weird image that everybody had of me, and me trying to hit that high of everybody loving me the first time, every single time, and I fell into like such a deep pit of despair.
Yeah.
Because like you need the bones. Like sometimes you might hit, like everybody gets lucky streaks sometimes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you still got to do the work for it to be sustainable. You know.
And also, like once you go through those bombs, you know, like how the worst they can be. Like you really you will have shows where you're like, I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Like, and I have 5 more minutes of this set because they paid me for it or whatever. And you get through it and you're not dead. And you're fine, and you realize that like that's part of the grit of it.
Some
like I actually feel bad for people who don't bomb all the time, because that one bomb, because it will come.
It will
You'll be asked to do.
them.
Yeah, you'll do a corporate event where you can't do what you normally do, or you'll think that it's going to be this, and then the sound system's outside, and then it's raining or whatever. Like all those things. So I think that it's just learning to kind of love it. I think learning to love stand-up for when it's good and when it's bad is the important part.
Some might say it makes you not dead yet. And not to always bring it back to therapy, but it's kind of the point of therapy too, is to face the hardest things in your life and survive them.
Yeah.
Because that's really where people get stuck, is they ruminate of like, this is this terrible thing that I've now blown up in my imagination. There's no way I can survive past that. If you survive past that in a room with somebody else to like validate, I saw you do that and you're still here.
Yeah.
You know?
You survived.
She doesn't see that version for me.
Yeah.
I did it 3 months ago.
I also love the redemption aspect of stand-up. Like, I remember I had, like, a few months back, I had, like, an okay set at the comedy store, and it's like, oh, you always want to kill in the comedy store.
Sure.
You're just, it's like you're off rhythm. It's just not your night. And then I was like, I'm so fucking determined to, like, come back and kill it. And luckily I had a strong set. And that's what it makes you. It makes you just really want to, I guess for me, a little competitive in my own aspect of I want to do better next time. But then again, even if it happens, it's okay. I think bombing is so essential. I think sometimes I did like, theater schools and improv schools, and sometimes I feel like they're like, oh, like they say, it's almost like they don't leave room for error. I'm like, but that's how you get better.
Yeah, and part of the beauty of comedy is error. Like the
It's
whole thing
so
is error.
Errors are gold.
Error, 100%. Especially if you have improv training and you can go with your own like Freudian slips or saying yumbos instead of jumbos. That can be a whole bit.
Yeah.
If you're paying attention in that moment, and if you have the grit to have those. Because, like, if you're doing a long set, 20, 30, an hour, and you mess up, but you can use that mess up to then, A, get better, but then be better even in that same show, that's what bombing helps you with.
Yeah.
It's like recovering from... Because over the course of an hour, there will be... When I was doing longer sets when I was on the road, there had been a couple of ones where, like, I got, like, a groan. And I was like, oh shit. Like I may have pulled the whole like
oops,
like,
did I go too far?
Yeah, and so but like learning to roll with that groan,
I
think especially when you're new, you won't get that opportunity because you're only doing 3 to 5 minutes. So sometimes when it's bad, it's just gonna be bad the whole time. Yeah. But if you learn to deal with those bombs, then when you are 10 minutes in and you have that moment where it looks like the crowd could turn on you, you have the grit to turn them back to your side.
Yeah.
As opposed to spending the next 50 minutes eating shit.
And if you think that especially if you're doing like the all comics in the room open mic, you think people actually remember and give a shit that you bombed in a week? They don't.
Yeah,
they're in their head freaking out about their own bullshit. Mm-hmm. So the more you come back, if you have 10 hits and 1 fail, the 10 hits will outshine that fail every single time.
And that's the cool thing about stand-up is like, especially if you do it a lot, you're like, oh, on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one.
It's like auditions.
Yeah, you just bomb, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do it again. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Like, you just kind of forget that you actually bombed that set. Like, I mean, I've bombed way more than I've actually done well on stage. And I'm fine with that. Like, I used to be so scared, especially in improv, I used to be so scared to fail because you don't want to let your team down.
Yeah.
But stand-up, I'm like, oh, I bombed. You laugh at your bomb. I laugh at my bombs now, like when I really first started doing stand-up.
I see Ryan crying at his bombs in his head.
Oh no! I'm just trying to think about my bombs. No, because I've been very like lucky, but like it's weird because like in improv, I would just in my mind it's diffusion of responsibility, so I would just blame my team. I'm like, we sucked.
I'm ready. You guys
are the worst.
I'm hilarious.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
Connecting to what you're also saying about, I heard this from one of my friends who's been doing stand-up for like 30 years. Actually, Mike Muratori.
Yeah.
Who I love Mike Muratori.
Oh my god,
Mike Muratori, mad Mike.
He's mad.
I love Mike, and he told me we had a great conversation, obviously about comedy. But he's like, stand-up is it's not you going up there and killing. It's you up there like bombing and getting out of that bomb and then killing in the end.
Yeah.
So it's like getting yourself, getting this
his
moment.
style totally lends towards that.
Oh yeah.
Because he'll come out and essentially tell the audience to fuck themselves, and then be like, "And now I'm gonna make you love me."
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, "I'm gonna punch you in the face."
It's
and
quite
then afterwards
genius.
we're gonna sleep together.
Right. And that's like one aspect of comedy. That's what I feel too. It's like, and I've done that where I'm like, oh shit, I'm bombing, but then when you finish strong and kill, you're like, oh yes.
Yep. There's no better
way
feeling.
more gratifying.
Like,
Yeah.
back into one of these.
Well,
exactly.
It might have something to do too with like there's a vulnerability to like either coming out and sharing something that's not paints you in not the best light, or something. You know what I mean? Like if you say you don't like kids or like whatever, like, and then you have to figure out a way to make that funny and also make people still like you even though you still hate kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are ways to go about it. Mike definitely does it like
does it great.
right to your face. He doesn't shy away from
Mike is the
that.
reason that I've been working on my triceps in Pilates. Because
But I
know it's out of love, but it still hurts, motherfucker.
But I
And then
think
you talk about your arms or something. Oh, that's mean.
Lunch lady.
I just remember hearing him laugh because he has a very distinctive laugh. So if he's listening to this podcast, it's hilarious. We always know you're in the room.
Yeah.
But when I got that laugh, I think it was a joke about a hate crime, and he was just like, "I love this joke.
I'm on it."
Yeah. I was like, "Yeah,
Right up my alley."
I was like, "I know he's laughing."
Oh god.
Well, thank you so much for being our guest.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Yes, it has. And
all of his contact info will be in the show notes, and you guys should go to the Roost and meet him in person and either do open mic or support live comedy in Atwater Village 7 to 9 on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Fantastic. I'm gonna go.
You should.
Yeah, do it.
I'm excited.
We'll love to have you. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Rate, review, and subscribe. Leave comments.
Start a cult about us.
Fantastic. Do
We
that.
will eventually have videos, so hunt us down on YouTube.
Once anything in my life works, it will be up. So thank you guys for listening to Not Dead Yet.
But still killing.
Mwah. Love you guys. Listen next week. Bye.